I researched Arizona's top 3 most haunted hotels. 2 of them I've been to myself, and I can confidently say these places are haunted as fuck. Here's what the internet and I have to say about these 3 hotels. Coming in at number 3, the Copper Queen Hotel in Bisbee, Arizona. I have not been here, but this is what I found on the internet. So this is Arizona's longest continuously operating hotel. It was built in the 1800s by a mining company and originally served as like a luxury lodging for investors that would come in. In my research, there weren't a ton of deaths that happened at this hotel, but there are some well-known deaths that took place, including one of the most famous spirits that's seen the most is apparently named Julia, who was a sex worker who reportedly died of at the hotel. The story is she fell in love with one of her clients and he didn't reciprocate and she herself. Today, guests report smelling her perfume, feeling someone touch their feet while they're sleeping, and seeing her spirit walking up and down the 2nd and 3rd floors. Another well-known ghost is a young ghost named Billy. This kid drowned in the nearby river, the San Pedro River, and returned to the hotel in the afterlife because his parents used to work at the hotel. Guests report seeing him in the lobby and sometimes can hear him running up and down the hallways. Apparently, he's also very mischievous and likes to hide guests' belongings and like moves furniture while they're out of the room, and when they come back they're like, what? Like I said, I've never been to this hotel, so I cannot confirm these stories, but let me know if you have been and what your experience was. Number 2, the Hotel Monte Vista in Flagstaff, Arizona. This one I have been to. We'll get to that in a second. This hotel opened in 1927. Some of the most well-known deaths that occurred in this hotel, 2 of them, 2 female sex workers were in room 306 were strangled and then thrown out the balcony window. Today, male guests staying in 306 have reported feeling watched, and some have even reported having like vivid dreams of being strangled, like maybe reliving their deaths. Another well-known ghostie that's seen at this hotel is a bank robber who bled to death at the bar after robbing a bank and like came to the bar to like celebrate, like, yeah, we robbed a bank, and then he had been shot and just died. That is a very weird story to me. Staff will say they'll see him when they're like closing up shop or whatever. And then others, the Phantom Bellboy who goes around knocking on people's doors and you hear someone whisper, room service. That would make me leave immediately. I'm not staying after I hear that. No, thank you. In room 305, there's a rocking chair by the window. Why do we have a rocking chair in a haunted hotel? What are we doing? Sometimes guests will see a woman sitting in the chair rocking, or sometimes the chair will just be rocking by itself. Then the Meat Man in room 220, who was a longtime resident back in the day who liked to hang raw meat from his chandelier. I guess he died in the hotel, but people claim that in that room, the TV will just like blast on, and then like their bed sheets will kind of be like thrown about the room. I went there. The only thing that happened, I felt a little weird when I was going to the bathroom and there was like a long hallway. I felt like I was being watched. Coming in at number 1, this was not a shocker to me, and it's probably not gonna be a shocker to a lot of you, the Grand Hotel in Jerome, Arizona. If you don't know, I've done 2 videos on this hotel. I have stayed there and definitely had an experience. A lot of you also had an experience at this hotel. If you want to go do a deeper dive into its history, you can go watch my past videos on that. But those of you who don't know, the Grand Hotel was a hospital for miners and tuberculosis patients way back in the early 1900s. Over 9,000 people supposedly died during its time as a hospital. It's known for being so haunted that it has a thick guest book full of guests' experiences. You can look up your room number and read what other guests have experienced in your room. I don't recommend you doing that before staying the night. One of its most well-known, most often seen spirits is Claude Harvey, who was a maintenance worker who died in 1935. Staff report seeing his shadow in the laundry room and boiler room. Also, another ghost that's seen very often is a 4-year-old boy who guests say they have seen running up and down the hallways or standing at the foot of their bed. Absolutely not. No. Another famous ghostie is a little ghost kitty. They'll see him like running around and he'll just pop up randomly, or she. My experience at the Grand Hotel, I stayed 1 night there. I will never stay there again. There's someone scratching at the wall, snapping in my ear and breathing in my ear. So yeah, I won't be going there again. Let me know if you've stayed in any of these hotels and if you had an experience. I want to hear about it. And yeah, stay spooky and see you next time. Love you, bye.